Welcome to my creative corner, and today I'm going to be featuring decorative masks by Stampin' Up. In this particular pack they have 4 different styles, and I'm going to be starting off using a textured background with these polka dots, and I'm going to be using the white embossing paste, and with that I'm going to change it to a black color. So let's get started and put a scrap piece of paper down and go ahead and tape our mask down so it doesn't move around on our work. You could use painter's tape. Just a temporary tape is what you want to use. And you're going to need some re-inker to add to your embossing paste. And I discovered you're going to need about 4 drops to get that rich dark black. Now with these masks down there, you could use it very versatile. You could use spritz with using your inks, your chalk, your glimmer sprays. You could use your sponge using your ink or your paint. You could trace using markers. You could emboss with Versamark ink and your embossing powder. And you could add your texture just like I'm doing right now with your embossing paste. So I'm going to use different color cardstock and make several of these texture background one time with since I have the embossing paste out so I don't waste. So I'll make a couple cards to show you at the end, and I'm going to save the rest of the cardstock to make some cards later on. Now these masks are easy to clean. You just take some baby wipes and wipe them off, or you just rinse them off with some warm water and soap. And it's also recommended when you're using your ink, just try to use a tiny bit so it doesn't seep under your work. The container that I mixed the embossing paste and ink in, I got from the dollar store. Stampin' Up has the embossing paste and the spatulas. So if you're interested in any of these products, please go over and check out my blog. There's a link on that site where you could purchase any of these products that you would like. So I'm just showing you the different colors of cardstock with the black ink that I used here. So keep in mind when you're using your white embossing paste, you could change that to whatever color you want. I just use black in this particular case. So once you're finished with all your embossing work, just set your work aside to dry. Next up, what we're going to be using is a different mask, and so we'll be creating a different type of background here. So what we're going to be using is our ink pads. This is, I don't know if you call it a mosaic design or floral design. So we're going to start out using pastel colors, and I used the Daub Half sponge, but that was kind of catching on the plastic. It wasn't going across that as smooth, so I switched over to my makeup blending brushes. And I am using the Calypso Coral to that left lower corner. And when you're blending, you want to blend off on your scrap piece of paper and come into your work so it gives you a gradual effect. Now with these blending brushes, you could get them on Amazon, and this was on my Christmas list. And these were 5 in a pack, and they were $9.99, and you could get it so much less than $9.99 and not very expensive, and they work really nice, very smooth. So the next color that I'm going to be using is Purple Posy to that top upper corner. So now when you're using this design, it's kind of neat because we're starting out with these pastel colors, and as you blend each color into each other, it adds and make a different color. So although we have like 4 pastel colors, we're going to end up with 8 different colors. So what I'm going to be using is 4 different blending brush, 1 for each color. So I'm just going to go ahead and make that Calypso Coral a little darker because it was a little too pale for me. So to the right upper corner, we're going to be using a green, and this is Granny Apple Green by Stampin' Up. So it's good to tape your work down so it doesn't buckle and mess up your design underneath. And like I said earlier, these come with 4 different styles. So next up, we're going to be using our crushed curry, which is a yellow, to the right lower bottom. So when you finish creating this design, I mean, you could cut it, you could add your bows, you could add your rhinestones. If you don't have designer series papers, this is where the decorative masks come into play. You could just create your own background for your cards. And I'm going to show you a couple cards. I made 3 different cards with a couple of these background styles. I hope you like these. And like I said, if you're interested in any, please check out my blog. There's a link you could hit if you're interested in purchasing any of these products. Thanks for tuning in. Happy crafting.